get down.
So another week has come and gone of training. Week 5 is done. That means 11 weeks until Open Worlds. This week I was back in gear for all 3 lifts. I put the bench shirt on twice. I wasn't necessarily supposed to have it on twice, but I wanted to try out a new shirt that I have that's one size smaller than what I've been in. So I threw it on my second bench day just to sort of see where that was at, in addition to everything that was programmed. The week started off with some full gear squats, just some doubles this week. They weren't quite as snappy as I wanted them to be. I think a little bit of fatigue from, I was away at a course last weekend, and then had a full day of work on Monday and then full gear squats. So I think that just a little bit of variation to the norm, where I'm squatting full gear on Sundays, where it's sort of the only exhausting thing that I do that day. Tuesday was shirted bench. It was in my bigger of my bench shirts. I ended up not touching my chest every rep, which isn't ideal, but sort of playing around with how I'm wearing the shirt, tinkering, if you will, and I think looking back on it, it was a positive session. Learned a couple of things about how I'm wearing the shirt. Wednesday, I didn't train. I had physio and a massage that day, so figured it was best just to let my body recover. Thursday was some full gear deadlifts. I had to pull 4s this week. I tried on a different suit. I put on a Fusion this week instead of the Velocity and Centurion that I've been playing around with. So right now, being 12 weeks out, I'm sort of still tinkering with gear, not at all set on what I'm going to be wearing in competition. Just trying to figure out what's going to work best right now. I liked how the Fusion fit. It felt super stretchy to get on. The cuffs in the legs were pretty tight, but all in all, positioning was okay. It definitely can be improved. I think I lost my upper back position a little bit more than ideally I should have. So that'll be something to work on this coming week. Not sure what suit I'll put on for deadlifts this coming week. I have a looser Fusion that I might play around with and see if the legs will stay a little bit lower. And keeping the legs a little bit lower might just help give a little bit more jam off the floor. Friday was a marathon workout. I ended up doing my last 2 days together in one, so it was about just shy of 4 hours I got it all done in. Another reason that it was so long was that I added in a new bench shirt. The shirt was a size smaller, like I said, than what I've been wearing, and it was brand new, so initially I didn't think we would get it on, but we used some bags on my arms to get it over my forearms, and we were able to get it on and seated well enough that I was able to do some board work, just trying to break it in. I think I'll put this shirt on again this coming week and just see where it's at from the little bit of stretching out that it's done from the one session in it, and see. With that workout, I also had some slingshot bench, some full range of motion pin press, and then I had some squats, some pause squats, and some snatch grip deadlifts, belt squats, and then some more accessories. So I was in the gym for a long time, but got everything done for the week. I didn't want to train on Saturday, partly because I was away most of the day at a meet in Martinsville, taking some pictures there, and I have to do full gear squats on Sunday, so I didn't want to train Saturday doing my squat workout and then have full gear squats the following day. So that's where training's at after week 5. Looking ahead to this coming week, I've got some singles on squat and bench in full gear, and then I think I still have triples deadlifting in full gear, so still lots of reps there. Nutrition wise, body weight's still a little bit higher than I would like. It's not dropping as fast as I would like. I'm consistently in the 75s though now, so I'm trying to look at just general trends over the last few weeks and seeing that it is trending down, and eventually it will get where I want it to be. I'm lifting at Western's bench only in 2 weeks now. Not sure what I'll do with my body weight there. I may just go in and weigh whatever I weigh that morning. We'll sort of see where body weight is in the next 7 to 10 days and make a decision from there. Still no tweaks in what I'm doing with my macros. Still the same set macros from Kristen. And right now I'm having one high day a week where I get 100 grams of extra carbs, which I'm having on my full gear squats day. The past couple of weeks I've been getting a lot of questions from people about my body weight and what I do training wise, how I adapt my training depending on my body weight, especially with equipment. The biggest thing for me is as my body weight tapers down, I'm either wearing tighter gear or I'm tightening up the gear that I'm currently in. So I do have some looser suits that I wear when my body weight's heavier, and then as we get closer to a meet, my body weight gets closer and closer to 72, I'll either tighten up my gear or wear the smaller equipment. I don't think it's ideal to have completely separate gear that you never wear except for in competition, because you need to know and figure out your gear and sort of figure out exactly how it works. And if you're only throwing it on once or twice, you won't know the ins and outs of that suit. Ideally, to me, I'm walking around at 72. Right now, I'm obviously not doing that. I'm sitting around. This morning I was 75.9. So I do have some body weight to still drop. I'll do a water cut as necessary, but just sort of right now I'm still 11 weeks out, so I'm already aware of it and getting it trending in the right direction. So hopefully a few more weeks and we'll be sitting where a water cut would be super simple. And wouldn't make much impact on how my gear was fitting. A lot of people have asked me as well if I've done any big weight cuts. The biggest weight cut I did was for World Games 2009, where I cut about 5 kilos, just over 5 kilos in the last 24 hours. So the morning before I competed, I was around 80 kilos. And then I weighed in the next day at 74.6 or somewhere in there. It was not an ideal situation to be in, obviously. I hadn't dialed in my nutrition, and this was back when the weight classes were 75, not 72 if you're confused on that math. My nutrition wasn't great going into the competition. I let my body weight get too high in training, and yeah, so 5 kilos in 24 hours was the biggest weight cut. I've also had some competitions with 72 where I have been walking around at under 72 for a number of weeks leading up to the event, so I didn't do anything, didn't manipulate my diet, didn't water cut, just sort of wake up that morning and my weight's light. So lots of variety through weight classes for me. For actually cutting weight, I find I do a water load and then a water cut. I don't really manipulate sodium other than just avoiding it the last couple of days as much as I can. Then to get the last little bit off, I'll often use a bathtub, so a hot bath in it, sort of submerged as much as I can be for 15 to 20 minutes. Then get out, just sit on the edge of the tub, continue sweating for a couple minutes, let body cool down a little bit, and just keep repeating that cycle. If I'm not too dry, I find that in 20 to 30 minutes doing that cycle, I can take off about 300 to 500 grams. Obviously, as I get more depleted and less water is in me, then that process slows down. But that's usually the method I use, is a bathtub. I don't really like a sauna because I find it just so dry and it just is really draining and is exhausting, whereas the moisture from the bathtub, I still find it pulls out the water from me, but it doesn't feel like you're just dripping sweat because the water's circulating around you as well. That's basically my water cut. It's all dependent on, and then food intake will get modified as well leading up to an event. I try and keep eating, but I try and eliminate, especially like 24 or 36 hours out. I'll stop eating like dense food, or not dense foods, sorry. So like my vegetable intake will drop because there's not very many calories, but they weigh a lot. So probably in the 1 to 2 days, somewhere in there. And it's all dependent on where my body weight's at, how it's been fluctuating in the week prior, as far as what I'll do. So that's it for this week's wrap up. If you have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments below or shoot us a message with them. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date with what's happening.